Welcome. This is M-Dog. We're continuing our story with Gayeh. And I hope you've also been enjoying the video series we've started with Artrex, where we have been using triple experience to level very quickly, but having a lot of fun playing some pandas, actually on Horde side on this same server. I've been healing on a priest, and Artrex is tanking with a monk. So that's been a lot of fun. I've been doing that here recently. We did get through Thanksgiving holiday, so we took a little time off, but so I'm a little disconnected here from Gayeh. So beginning of this video, we may be just kind of looking over some things here and trying to get caught up. I know one of the things we've been working a lot on is professions. So it looks like skinning, we're in a pretty good place. Herbalism, we perhaps could still use a little bit of help on. And I want to say we were over, where have we been picking herbs at? In Darkshire, I believe. And so that probably wouldn't be a bad thing to do. Now let's see what dungeons we have to run. So we could probably just heal a random, or we could go to either Blackfathom Deeps or Stormwind Stockades if we want to do specific. And actually, trying to think, I mean, I wouldn't mind. I like Shadowfang Keep, so I never mind doing that again. If we got Wailing Caverns, the only good thing about that is that we would get lots of skinning. So let's start off. We have some mail, it looks like. So let's see what's in here. Alright, we got medium hide, sold that. Boar meat sold. Medium leather sold. More medium leather. That was 54 gold. That's really helping out a lot. So everything looks like it's sold pretty well. We had a little bit of tin ore. Mostly what we're selling, of course, is skinning. What we didn't sell was the wolf flank and the light hide. Because we have taken some time off here, we've got a little over half a level in rested XP. Let's go ahead and make sure we are all repaired up and sell the things that did not sell in the auction. We'll go ahead and sell those now. So it looks like we still have the WoW anniversary 9% boost, and I wasn't necessarily expecting that to still be going. I thought today might have been the first day of that not working anymore, but will not complain. And let's fly to actually Darkshire. So I think we'll go ahead and queue up, and we're going to do a random dungeon this time. So the benefit here is we do get the gold. We'll get 2,000 experience, which at this level, that's a pretty big deal. And we're going to heal up as a queue up as a healer. And so just really enjoying playing Gayeh, going through the leveling process, trying to do a lot of dungeon runs, although at certain points we'll do some questing. Now with the triple experience that I'm doing in the video series with Artrex from Artrex Gaming, and I do encourage you to check that series out. We have a lot of fun playing together, and I hope you enjoy watching it. But in that series, we're doing a lot of dungeon runs because there's almost no need to quest. I think once we get to, perhaps once we get to Outlands, we'll quest some to get some gear upgrades and a little bit of a jump start on the XP there. But with Gayeh here, we're going to reach a point here probably in the 30s, maybe not until the 40s, but probably in the 30s, where we'll feel the need to go quest some. And frankly, I enjoy questing, especially Alliance side where I have so many fond memories. We could also dual spec and go ahead and get some DPS going, just to make things a little more smooth. Let's see what this is. If it's King's Blood, we're not going to quite be there yet. We need a few more to get King's Blood. And these level 20s are skinnable for us, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to skin a little bit while we're here. But let's see if we can get another herb on our map and do that. So we're in queue. Looks like average queue time is 1 minute. We just happen to be a little slower right now because it's waiting for a tank. So that's what we need. Briarthorn. We need some Briarthorn, and then we'll be not too far off from being able to go ahead and get some King's Blood. Alright, well, let's go and enter the dungeon. We know we're close to that Briarthorn, so we will possibly get Briarthorn next time we do it. So this is going to be great. Alright, let's see what tabard we have on. We'll keep Stormwind Tabard on for now. We do need to purchase some more tabards, I'd say, but we'll go ahead and do that. And get all the quests here. Looks like the tank and at least one of the DPS don't need any quests, so let's see if they allow us to complete all our quests. Alright, so for healing on this character, we of course have Riptide, we have Healing Surge, and Healing Wave. Healing Surge has a little bit of a cast time, 51 mana, pretty expensive, but it does 849 healing, so that's really good. Longer cast time, but a lot less mana on Healing Wave. And what I'd like to do, and I probably could have done this before we got in here, is check out what our passives are, because I want to make sure that in terms of rotation for our heals, we're keeping that in mind. Woo! Gotta slow down there. Don't want to mess that up. Thankfully we can heal from there. Alright, so our tank is a druid. And one of the DPS just pulled aggro off the tank instead of allowing the tank to pull the minion all the way up to where he wanted to. And we do not have tailoring on this character. We'll read that. Get a Healing Wave in here, and boy, and that DPS is just asking for it. It's like he's trying to tank here. And I have Grid on right now, as you may see. But I actually think I might like the in-game raid frames now even more, so I might take a look at between dungeons today, going ahead and setting up the in-game raid frames for this character like I've been using on the character I'm running up with triple experience with Artrex. Do a little DPS here, and then back to healing. And this human paladin is definitely pulling aggro a little bit. And I don't know if the tank is not holding it or if the paladin has some of his abilities activated that pulls it. So we only have one brain stem so far. We need 7 more. Everybody's suddenly taking a good bit of damage here. So with Stormwind Rep, we are revered. So again, we would like to pick up probably some of the other tabards. And it may be worth making a trip back to Exodar at some point. Now that we have a mount, it wouldn't be quite as bad, and we also have the flight points. There is a quest there that we could turn in, the Learn to Ride quest. We could also make sure we have all of those mounts purchased on our account. So we're at 23, but quickly heading up 24, and you see how fast at this level you go through rested XP. That rested XP is pretty much gone now. It's about a bar and a half away from being entirely gone, and that really doesn't change until, certainly not in vanilla range. I mean, through level 60, rested XP just doesn't last. Once you get into the expansions, it does help, and then obviously once you get to the last couple of expansions, it's much better. Rested XP will hold because you're just not leveling as fast. So a full level of rested XP actually means a lot more at that point. Go ahead and pick up this Strangle Kelp. We're fortunate that we've got just enough in our herbalism that allows us to be able to get that, and that will give us a point. That's very nice. And this Bruiseweed will as well. But let's go ahead and turn this quest in first, make sure we get that done. So that gives us the next quest. And because we were a little bit ahead of most of the folks, we're able to kind of keep up with everyone. And unfortunately, some of our party has gone ahead and gotten into a fight up here without the rest of us here, but it looks like we're going to make it okay. And hopefully we'll finish getting some brain stems. We're about halfway there right now. Would be nice to be able to finish that quest while we're in here. We will be hitting 24 while we are here. There's 2 more brain stems, possibility of getting 1 more here. Okay, so we only got 2. We need 2 more. Did not get 1 there. But can still get them up here. Looks like we'll have no problem getting them out. Honestly forgot how many were available up here on land. I don't think we're in any danger of not completing the quest at this point. Yeah, it'll be nice when we get out of here to review our passives. Sometimes your passives have a big impact on your rotation order, even with healing, on which heals to do first and who you want to do it on and how that impacts the rest of your heals. So there we go. We finished the Brainstem quest. Now we've just got, is it 3 more in here to finish? Yeah, 3 more quests in here to finish. And this is some good experiences. We're getting this dungeon, not that we're under leveled, we're actually right at level, but that means that some of the quests are showing up as orange and red, so we'll get a good chunk of XP when we do complete this, so that'll be a lot of fun. We should, I would think we're going to be pretty darn close to 25, if not hitting 25 by the end of this. We'll see. So far, nothing that's been skinnable in here. I do think there are a couple things that are. The question is whether or not we will actually fight those beasts. And I could be wrong about that. I might be getting confused with another dungeon, but I was thinking that there were a couple of maybe things in the water, if nothing else, that are skinnable, but perhaps not. I guess the question would be, is at level 23, would we be able to skin them? Is these Whoa, Nelly. Hoping I'd have a free path to the bruiseweed, but unless that tank pulls those guys, which it looks like he's not, we're not going to be able to get that bruiseweed. We got water walking there. We unlocked Nomergon. And we've got some hard-hitting Murlocs all of a sudden here. What do we have in our offhand? A shield? Okay. So by clicking on that shrine, it looks like we got the blessing of Blackfathom, increase all stats by 10%, and increase frost damage done as well. Whoa, wrong way. That was a little close. A little close for comfort. That's the thing about healing, is a lot of these really got to keep up with the tank. These days, tanks will just keep on rolling in these instances. Yeah, getting really good experience here, even without quest turn-ins. We're getting a good chunk into 25. So we are headed towards the next bad guy we need to fight against. And I think that is the head of Kelris that we're going after next. I don't think we will. I think after this is complete, we'll get a couple more herbs, and then we'll make our journey back to Exodar. We'll return home and pick up some mounts if we don't have them all. Turn in that riding quest, and also while we're there in Exodar, go ahead and what are these? These are the amulets, right? Yeah, pendants or whatever. And while we're there, we'll go ahead and pick up the tabard, so we can be working on Exodar rep. Although I don't know that we'll do that one first. We'll just get it so that we can have the option to work on it when we want. It probably makes more sense to go ahead and work on something that's a little closer, because the nice thing is once you get rep to revered, you can go ahead and buy the bags. It's such a good way to get relatively inexpensive bags. So yeah, I do think this is what I was thinking of. These deep pool threshin, I would imagine, are skinnable, so that's what I was thinking of earlier. We also have a fight coming up where there's lots of turtles and things, so those may be skinnable as well. We will soon find out. And we've got a good group here. Really no complaints. Early on, the paladin was being really aggressive, and I don't know if the tank whispered him or if he has just sort of dialed it back a little bit. This tank is going plenty fast. There's no need for the paladin to make things more challenging by counter pulling or pulling right in front of the tank. So we have all our pendants. Some strangle kelp in here. That's awesome. So between that and whatever we're able to get once we're through with this dungeon, that will at least put us at 100 or a little above 100 on our herbalism, which is kind of right where we want to be at this point. Blackfathom Deeps, and this is one that I don't know that I ever ran this instance, at least not very much. Sort of the first, I guess, couple of times through leveling, since they've introduced LFG and made everything so much easier in terms of queuing for dungeons. I have run it a few times, but alright, so this strangle kelp must be on the ocean floor below us, because I'm not seeing it. Do a little DPS here, and back to healing the tank. That would be great, but it's hard to give up our DPS, our heirloom weapon. All right, so here we go. Let's see if any of these things are skinnable. This could be bad. We'll try to wait and heal as long as we can so that we don't pull all the aggro. So far, so good. things should be starting to die now, so it looks like our group's going to make it through what can be a pretty hairy pool when they activate all 4 fires of a Kume at the same time. That sends a whole bunch of minions in at the same time. So I think when I've run this before, sometimes we'll just do 3 out of the 4 initially, and then once we get through that first wave where everything is. So it looks like this stuff might not be, yeah, it is skinnable. The turtles were skinnable. Oh, let's get those. Somebody didn't loot that turtle, so we won't be able to get it. Alright. Don't die on me now, tank. Oh, they're not looting everything. Blasted. So that's helping a little bit. Our skinning's up to 154 as we are getting to skin these turtles. Alright, 156. And here we come up on the last fight of this Blackfathom Deeps run. And then we'll teleport out of the dungeon, back into the dungeon, and then turn the quest in. Go ahead and put our flame totem down. Searing totem, I'm sorry. And do a little DPS on this guy, because at least right now he's not putting out that much damage. Go up and use a up close and personal ability. I did go ahead and earth shock him, and that just decreases the amount of damage he's able to do a little bit and does a little damage to him. So there is the end of Blackfathom Deeps. Yeah, we'll take that. Lose a slight bit of... Let's see what happens when we click on this Altar of the Deeps. We lost a slight bit of intelligence on that. We finish this, we get a cloak that we don't want. Go ahead and equip that. And nothing else to equip, it looks like.
Here there.
Oh, we could port to Dornassus. Now that is interesting. But first we need to turn in these dungeons, these quests. Teleport out and teleport back in. So is it worth... Oh, we didn't get the manuscript. Where is that? Up north of the pool. I wonder if I just missed picking that up. We'll just go ahead and drop that quest because we may not get back in here. So we'll choose a reward here. I think it's worth just keeping what we have on, even though that is tempting. We'll keep the heirloom weapon on. Strength ring, a dagger, a mace, or a wand that we can't use. So we'll take what sells for the most. And there is 25. We have glyph slots available now, which that's very cool. And unfortunately nothing that we can use. I think we're just going to teleport out of, or just leave instance group here. Alright, so we'll go ahead and abandon the one quest we did not complete, and next time we run a dungeon, if we run a random, and if we get that one, we'll pick it up again and see if we can make sure we pick it up next time. But we did get into 25 here, so really nice run there. Alright, looks like the herb did not come back up. King's blood still red. Let's see what the requirement is. It's 1 something, 15, no 25. So we still got some work to do, to be honest, on herbalism. Because we are now at 100. So we need 25 more points to get King's blood. And wherever we go next, in terms of questing or future dungeons we run, are probably going to have herbs in it that need us to be at that point. But we do not have to worry about that right now necessarily. Let's just sort of take a turn this way through the top and over, see if we catch 1 or 2 more herbs, and then we'll hearth back and make our journey home to Exodar, where our adventure began, although I don't think I recorded that part in the very first video, because all I did was literally create the character and run to Stormwind. So our questing began in Elwyn Forest, but our character began in Exodar. Alright, so I'm not seeing anything in terms of herbs. Sometimes there are 1 or 2 over here, but not always. Yeah, Mage Royal, we'll take that. And Bruiseweed, we'll take that as well. You may have noticed there I took a quick break, stepped away for about 10 minutes, fixed some lunch. What is interesting is I went ahead and logged out because I knew there were critters around that could attack us. Come back in, and the 9th anniversary WoW token is now gone. So in that sort of 5-minute span, or however long it was, that's when they hot removed that token. Alright, so we picked up another herb. Let's go ahead and get to, I think our Hearthstone is still set to Goldshire. Let's go ahead and get there and see. Let's make sure that everything is equipped that we want to be equipped in terms of gear. Okay, we do want to put those boots on, I believe. And everything else we can sell. And stuff that I'm not pretty certain will sell easily, I'm just going ahead and unloading. Alright, so now of course, first we need to go to Stormwind. We're going to start our journey home to Exodar. And then that'll probably be, once we get back, that'll probably be a natural break for us to go ahead and take in our, just split it up here a little bit. Alright, so let's look at this. We need 22 more herbalism nodes so that we can then level up. And need quite a few more skinning to level up again, which I'm not as worried about that. We're actually ahead of the game in skinning. We need, all right, let's see what these quests, if one of these is the main board. Yep. And it looks like the Dark Moon Fair is going on. I'm not really interested in that. So right now they're saying is this Stranglethorn Vale? Yes, Stranglethorn Vale. But where we're wanting to go right now is actually to the harbor. So let's get up to the harbor here. We need to take the boat back across the seas here. Make sure I'm going the right way. I think what would be neat is if they introduced a way. Our guild rep is now honored. I was going to look and see if we can afford. Yes, at level 35 we can get these shrouds that teleport us back to Stormwind. We can afford the 150 gold one already when we hit 35. But I think it'd be neat to see. Ooh, is this going to hurt? Yeah, hurts a little bit. I think it would really be neat to see them maybe introduce some racial. Part of your racial ability is that even if it's even if it's a cooldown of 24 hours or something, you can use a racial ability to sort of teleport back to your homeland. I think that would be cool if they did that. So unfortunately, we may not make this boat here. It is going to start moving any second. We need to be a little closer. Alright, now we'll probably make it. We could probably jump on even if it does start moving. Alright, very good. Let's go see how the captain's doing. Oh, this is the navigator, I guess. Alright. Since we are headed to our homeland, let's get on an elephant. So the main purpose that we're doing this is really to just to turn in this quest that is sitting in our bag. It's learn to ride. We'll just get silver for it. It's no big deal. We're just going to complete the quest and get it out of our bag. We're also going to look and see any mounts that are available that we don't have. And I think that's actually... Do we need another boat ride here? I can't remember. If we have the flight points, we might not, but we might. We might have to. I do think that's the boat we take, though, because right now we're here. We need to go over. No, I'm sorry. We need to go. We need to go over there. All right. Let's see where the flight point. If there's a flight point there. If not, we'll have to get on the next boat anyway. We've missed that boat. Perfect. Fly right into Exodar. So what I'm thinking here, we'll get the quest turned in, the mounts purchased, if there are any that we don't already know, and pick up the tabard. We could go ahead and list some things on the auction house. We don't have much, but a couple things to list. Maybe put some herbs in the bank. And then I think that'll be a good breaking point, and I may take a few minutes here, if nothing else, just to give our hearthstone time to finish. Although that's not a huge deal because we could always just queue up for a dungeon, and by the time we finish the next dungeon, the hearthstone will be done anyway. How nice is it to be home? So it's kind of cool. We're riding on a hippogriff, which is one of the mounts we use, and then of course the elephant is the other one we use. We'd love to get off right now, but I guess we have to go all the way down. So the last thing we'll do is go up and turn that quest in, which is fine. Right here is going to be the person that's going to sell us the tabard. And again, once you get revered, you can purchase the bag. So the next step is when we get back is we're going to probably fly to Ironforge. And I guess we ought to go back over to Darnassus while we're here and get that one. Now Gilneas, I don't know where the Gilneas tabard is. I'll have to do some digging on that. And a panda tabard, might be able to get that in Stormwind. I ought to look into that. Typically you don't have the ability to level through all of them, but
Welcome, browse at your leisure.
what is our bag situation? We're really doing okay on bags, and we've got that herbalism bag. The only thing that could maybe help us is if the Stone Talon Mountains is if our bank had another bag. Alright, so this is the bank here, and we'll unload some herbs.
Open your heart to the light.
It's been a long time since I've spent any time at Exodar. How much is it to open up another slot? 10 gold. We'll go ahead and do that. Put our little weenie bag in that for now, just to hold the place. Actually, do we have a bigger one? No. Now we'll go find the auction house. I'm actually trying to remember. I think it's close by. It may be this place over here. That's going to be my best guess. Yep. Exodar is not a bad little city. It's just on the wrong continent. When you're playing Alliance, at least for my taste, I don't spend a lot of time on this side of the world when I'm leveling up Alliance. I guess we have been selling, especially our low level cloth. I think it's fine. Higher level cloth, I don't know. We may end up selling that as well. Alright. Let's go up and over here. There wasn't anything else down here I needed to do, I don't believe. I think we're good to go, and so we're going to go up here, and then we'll see about mounts, turn this quest in, and then we'll see about flying to Darnassus and going ahead and picking up their tabard. Might as well go ahead and get it just in case we want it, because honestly it may be a while before we're back over here. And I tell you one thing I'm curious about, is there a shaman trainer in Stormwind? Just curious about that. I was just thinking about how we didn't have that shaman trainer over there in Elwyn Forest where we normally would have gotten a quest to talk to our trainer. We never did to get that. Alright, so we have Alright, so if we want the big ones, we gotta get them. We've got the great green elk. I think that's what we're using now. We don't have these two, and we don't have any of these. So we'll definitely learn those. And I think we're going to go ahead and get these as well. We won't be able to learn them till a little later. It won't let us, will it? No. We can go ahead and get these. Leading the cavalry. What achievement is that? 50 mounts, okay. And that's one of the reasons why I was doing this, is I knew that we had quite a few mounts, but we didn't have a lot of the basic ones. So I decided, hey, let's go ahead and do this. Alright, so we've got all the mounts we can get here. Now we just need to find... Oh, is it worth... I think it's worth going back down to the flight point. So now we've got these that... Because we're only 25, it's probably worth throwing these in the bank. But we won't put them in the bank here. We'll wait till we get probably back to Stormwind, unless we just go by the bank in Darnassus. I don't remember... I've really spent very little time there, so this is where... Is this where the cooking trainer is, I think? Yeah, right up there. Alrighty, so we want to fly to Darnassus.
You will.
Yep.
Open your heart to the light.
We want to fly to Darnassus. Here we go. So how are we doing on our 15-minute cooldown? Yeah, it's just about up anyway. It's very, very possible that we have few, if any, of the mounts associated with the racial from Darnassus. We'll find out. We fly across the sea here. I don't know if this is a close enough flight that it actually is going to show us going over the ocean, or will it skip forward? It's going to skip. Boy, the water looks so much better in this game now than it used to. I guess having a computer that's got everything on ultra helps as well, but I know they've made a lot of graphical changes over the last couple years. Alrighty. So as you may know, everything that happens up here is actually on top of a tree. Now, we could have and probably should have just flown to the bottom flight point here, because there is a way to warp right up to the top instead of doing this, but this isn't bad. A slow climb and enjoying the scope and scale of this gargantuan tree. Oh yeah, we did want to... I'm thinking about taking, and I may just take grid off. Let's see, we could go ahead and be getting our raid frames up. Okay. There is Gilneas. So we found the Gilneas tabard. Here's Darnassus. Found the Darnassus tabard. And now we just need the stable. Or the... Yeah, I think that is where the mounts are here, actually. Well, maybe wrong here. Okay. So you have to be exalted to purchase those mounts. And we do have some of those, actually, now that I think about it. Alright, so we are ready to return. I do believe we are ready to return. While we're collecting tabards, might as well get iron forges. And that's probably what we should work on next. I guess Darnassus would be the quickest, but that would require us going back there. I think that's because of that one instance we ran, gave us all that Darnassus rep. But Ironforge would be probably the one that makes most sense. We could get it to revered the quickest, or pretty quickly, even though we're a little bit behind compared to the others, and it's just the most convenient location to go get a bag. Tell you, it is not a terrible thought to head up to Arathi Highlands at some point as well. I actually prefer questing up there. At least I used to. They've done so much to change Stranglethorn. It's not that bad anymore. And we could quest at Stranglethorn. But herbalism between Arathi and especially, maybe even more so, Hillsbrad Foothills, you get so many points there. It may be worth adventuring up to there before we run our next dungeon, just to be there for a little bit and get the herbalism pushed over the edge. It won't be long until we would need to go train it, but we will get flight points along the way, so we'd be able to. So what would we have to do? Do we already have a flight point to wetlands or not yet? Minister Finister. I'm not sure that we do have a flight point to wetlands, so we might have to run there. I guess normally from Dawn Morrow. Do you go to Silverpine Forest next? Is that what you do if you're a dwarf? Man, I haven't been a dwarf or a gnome in so long. Of course, Tristfall Glades is up here as well. I love Western and Eastern Plaguelands. It's actually a lot of fun to quest there. Alrighty. We will take your... Go ahead and equip that. And... Oh, Nomergon! I forgot about Nomergon. Wow, there are so many tabards now. So it'd probably be better to do Ironforge and then Nomergon. Alright, so what I want to know is where's the stable? I just want to see what is there. Let's see how far it is. That's not what we want. Down the military ward. Alright, we'll come back later. We have to be exalted anyway to get them, so it's not a big deal. Let's see what flight points we have from here. Alright, so we can't get to... So going to wetlands would actually require a trek. And honestly, I don't exactly remember how that works. Alright, well that'll be an adventure, we'll find out. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap this one up. This has been a long video. Just to review, let's see. We were able to get done Blackfathom Deeps. Next time we play, next time we run a dungeon, we probably want to go ahead and queue up specifically for Stormwind Stockade. It's just such a efficient, short dungeon. Get a lot of good rep in a small amount of time with all the kills, and there's some quests in there. So you want to do it at least once, and then Nomergon, you know, we'll probably not queue up for Nomergon individually necessarily because it's got a big range, 24 to 34, and we'll be at those levels for a little while now, so we'll end up getting it if we run randoms a couple of times probably. Alright, so thanks for watching as always, and we will continue this soon.